What is up, people? Welcome back to Team Fortress TV. It is ETF2L week 4. Apparently, the big April Fool's joke today is that apparently these two teams can't play next week, so they're playing now. It's Garda Panteri against DuMmTm here on TFTV2 tonight. We have a game later as well on TFTV1. Tentatively, that will be on TFTV1, or slightly things will overlap. Who knows? For now, this is the only game tonight for at least another hour or so. I'm not here alone, and there's Wiethoofd with me on production and Surny on the mic.
Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good. Should be a fun one. This has been an interesting season in some respects. Obviously, that team early is not necessarily the good kind of interesting, but both these teams had some interesting games. Basku coming off of a respectable win, at least, a respectable loss, sorry, on one map at least, against Fein Gaming, 5-0, 3-0 total, and a very close affair with Aura Lecture last week, 2-0, 2-1 losses each there. No points for them just yet, but they've been keeping up quite nicely with the pack here. On Garda Panteri, however, it's been some points already. Just last week, they've gotten, or just last game, I should say, they've gotten 3 points out of top 5 Rocket here on a map we'll see tonight again as well here. And other map, generally not so pretty for them, but I mean, it's a start, right? Getting maps of top 5 is, if you're moving up just now for the first time into Premiership, already a nice accomplishment.
Yeah, especially with how strong of a team top 5 look to be. Like they're a pretty dangerous team, a team to be considered with, obviously. It's not a small feat taking a map off of them when you're the new team in Prem, right? Considering the other one doesn't exist anymore, you're the only new team in Prem now as well.
Yeah.
Fair enough, I guess.
Yeah, it's
So,
all punching upwards here for them at this point still. I mean, it's not going to get any easier, really. Basku, you could argue so with that current success, but even then, it's not going to be by much. They played in the qualifier before. It's been close games they had in that as well, but Basku came out top last time, and this is where it really matters now. They're both in Prem anyway, and now the points really count.
Exactly. I mean, this is technically the mid-season match, right? It's the week 4 match, so this is the one that'll set the stage for the rest of the season for both teams, I suppose. Even though it's so out of order and very weird and interesting. I mean, it fits the date perfectly, I suppose. We could run down the rosters really quick. I'll do the bus crew. Obviously, we have Martin on the medic, Jon on the demo man, Poison, who's not playing. He's being replaced by a Disky, as well as Warped on the soldiers, and then Hems and Slash. Tempest and Slash on the Scooty Booty Men, trying to shoot soldiers out of the sky or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see how they do. On the other side, it is Tramon Medic, Milky EU, aka just Milky on Demoman, Bud and Mankey on the soldiers, and all on score joined now by Kilsis from Turkey here, replacing for the rest of the season Everx, stepping down from the main spot on Garda Panteri. It will now be the Turk stepping up. Played with them before, not a new face to them on the roster here at all. Obviously has played last week already, but now it's confirmed for sure will be having to play the rest of the season. Had played a good game last week, certainly helped quite a bit with his performance on Gully Wars last week against top 5 Rocket as well. So we'll see how they can do with the slight change here. They used to play already, but need to be used to their opponents here as well. And Basku are keen for points. They're hurting for them. The results have gotten closer from week 1 to 2, but no points just yet. Means they're still keen to get something on the board here.
I mean, obviously, if you both of these teams, at least with the standings currently, even though they're not completely up to date, you're at the bottom of the board. You're at the bottom of the board. You don't want to be there at any point. And, besides like a couple of teams that will probably be runaways for the season, is, at least what I anticipated, there's a pretty closely matched field overall, I'd argue. All of these teams, Garda have shown they can take maps. So I think it's going to be a back and forth in this game as well. If I had to somehow put down a prediction right away, this could be a pretty close match. We could see this go either way. I really can't just immediately step down like, oh yeah, this team is going to be the one that rolls, right?
Yeah,
it's hard
to
say.
Like I said, this was a close game in the qualifier. Basku was in control for the most part in that game, but it wasn't without a good fight that Garda Panteri was able to put up as well, that they only took the win here at the end eventually. So it's gonna be a competitive one for sure. Maps, I think you should mention as well here. Obviously, everyone else will be playing Granary Gully Wash this week still, but this is an early game for next week, so we will be seeing Gully Wash and Product instead. Much different affair to all the rest of the games you'll see this week, I suppose. And that will change matters significantly. Obviously, the Garda squad looked really good on Gully against top 5, managed to punish most mistakes that top 5 put on the board really, really competently, and that is obviously a good start here, but I mean, Product will just be a huge change of pace here for each of these teams. I'm interested to see how that will play out for them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Product, obviously, traditionally a very, very, a map where snipers like to play occasionally. at least at the top of my head, I can't really think of extremely dangerous snipers on either of these teams. I mean, that's obviously also because I'm not terribly familiar with most of the players yet. But,
yeah, I mean, we talked about it, right?
it's
These are newer players.
traditionally, it's a map where a lot of people really like whipping out the sniper and just wreak havoc on that map. So we might see something like that. Who knows? Maybe a Disky, like he's played sniper before. He's had some breakout moments every once in a while. He might just go wacky and play some sniper. Who knows?
I mean, at this point, he played anything, right? Really towards the high level. He's just like, he used Demo Man for a while, wanted some change here over the past, played Soldier at the top level as well. Now stepping up here as well once again to save the day for the Busker on the Merc spot as well. And like you said, new players to a lot of people here, especially the scouts. Sure, players like Hempus have been around for a while, but technically it's first season in Prem, which is hard to believe. Just kind of dodged it for a while, but they're here now, and the rest of them also fairly new to the table. So, I mean, if you don't know them, sure, you're excused, but after if someone puts something on the board here right now, then certainly they can start making a name for themselves, even on the Sniper Plus.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is especially if you're, Garda, this is your first season, this is where you want to have that Prem debut spot at the end of the season or something like that. That's always something to be looking forward to. You just want to show off. You want to show what you've got, that you can actually mess with the big dogs in Prem. And, I mean, so far they're putting up a decent fight. Let's see how that continues as well. We have, if you're going to talk about the experience, obviously, Bus Crew, more experienced players. In terms of Prem, there's some faces here
for sure.
There's some faces here that have had several seasons in Prem already. So who knows if that experience is going to be the driving factor?
Yeah, who knows? It depends, right? Because there's a more experienced roster for sure. You have like this core of Martin and Jon, and to an extent the soldiers as well. One of which obviously missing today, that played for a while here, but. Garda Panteri has the more recent experience, right? They placed second in Div 1 with something largely resembling this roster, and in the grand schemes here at least played for like at least 2-3 seasons together overall. Vasco been a little bit on and off in recent memory, obviously now here back together it seems, but still it's been a little bit of a bumpy road in terms of consistently being able to show up with a roster here for them. So it's gonna be interesting to see if like the recency bias kicks in and helps Garda Panteri out, just having like more quick things ready when they need to. Certainly helped in the game last time against top 5 a little bit here, but that was a one-off for now, and Basku is here to show that was a fluke, that in fact these guys here are not quite on the level they need to be to consistently keep the rest of Prem in check. It will be interesting. I'm keen to see how they will do with this one, and honestly for each single one of these players, I haven't seen much of these teams just yet, other than, like I said, in the qualifier, so I'm keen to see how they can perform.
Yeah, that's really what I'm looking forward to. Just seeing some great play out of both teams. Again, they're pretty closely matched, at least from the qualifier. So there's a chance that this match will also be pretty closely matched in terms of scoreline or something like that. If you had to put down a prediction, at least for our first map of Gully Wash, what do you think? How it's going to go, score-wise, or which team's going to be the one that might edge it out at the end?
Ooh, that's going to be an interesting one. I mean, Gully Wash is technically the easier guess to take here, right? Because it's a 5 CP map, I suppose. I'm going to go with something close to the qualifier results. I'm going to say it's like maybe a 2 for Basco at best. They have what it takes to win. We know that, but Garda Panteri is still a scary team. They play very aggressive if they're given the chance to, and they will not give up a chance when they let them have one on Basco.
Yeah, they are a very aggressive team, and I hope I can see some of that. That being said, we are going live with our very, very first mid of Gully Wash for, well, the future week, I suppose. Let's see how these teams take it away here. Very, very aggressive out of guard immediately. Just everybody through big doors so fast. They're taking a lot of ground, and Busker really taking their time to get there as well. But overall, they're just, pretty much not even shooting each other, just staring each other down. A little bit of spam exchange. Mank is going to be the first one to make a play, and he's going to get killed for his troubles. But that's it, and Disky gets the memes turned on to Trump just from the dead angle that nobody was looking at. And immediately, a lovely pick that he would have always wanted. But Kills is on the medic as well. Is he going to get Martin? No, he's going to be cleaned up, and that was the only hope they had on that mid.
That's one hell of a first kill of the season for Disky, I guess. Just coming off from break once again, and just immediately a shovel in the face for the medic here. That's a great start for the Busk, who's gonna pick up the pace immediately, no time wasted, leaving scouts behind his slash, take the cap on mid. Disky from rollout back again from spawn on the way to second to get the cap in there as well. They have advantage. They need to wait a little bit, but they're still gonna have it by the time this will go to last here. Once the second capture on the ram, slash now on the capture here as well, and they might as well just get going without him potentially as well. You see teams being somewhat split about this. Sometimes they wait for the 6, sometimes they just go straight in, not waste any time at all. They have time to wait, they take their time here as well. Jon already scouting out things through the window in the lobby to see what's up on last. There's obviously, as you would expect, the defensive off-classes to hold them off as much as possible. Pyro Gun can tank up a lot of damage if it goes well. If Basku lets anything slip away here, the push comes through, trying to get right in there.
They do take down that sentry right away. They took their sweet time with that Uber though, and if they don't really get the kills right here, this could actually be pretty bad push for them. They pick up Bud, but that's the only player thus far. The Heavy and Earl is still alive as well, and now Trum coming up on his own Uber is going to be able to seal the deal on, you know, at least protecting this point here. No cap time at all at the end of the day as well. Slash just gets cleaned up immediately, and Adiski is the only player still in. Might get a bit of cheeky cap time here, but they're aware of it. They're immediately on the lockdown. They send in a few more players to struggle for the point, but there's just a lockdown from Garda. Nothing can get through. Jan hits a nice little pipe onto Bud, but ultimately it's only going to buy them a little bit of time as they have to back out to second.
It might have been a lockdown until last, but it was a close call for the Medic there. The repush attempt almost got to Trum, lived with like less than 50 health there. Close call for the Medic. Will stay alive though. It's not exactly advantage for them out of last year. Anyway, Martin's just building in the back already on second. They have even significant advantage here, leaving the second point behind. If they do tentatively so they want to refight here. Trum's still weak. It is the high bomb hits a bunch of damage for Jon to clean up both soldiers just right on the door there to not let anyone get through the spam. And that's good enough to force Garda Panteri back. They lose one, don't want to lose any more. Scared of taking a bad fight here, but it's still a bad fight anyway because the Uber is just up already on the Basku. They're just taking this right back in here. Missing a few targets, so everyone's just jumping away from them. Takes a while before they finally get a body towards point. Sticks have been dead though. Hampton can just get the captain going, but Trum also has readied on the Uber now.
And that's going to be enough to clean up some struggling players on the point, or at least force people out of this last again. Hemps is going to get cleaned up here as well. He's not going to escape. So again, Garda hang on by a thread with that later Uber. Now the Ubers are so equal that any disadvantages that may have existed are equalized. And, you know, pushing out a last on Gully, not necessarily the easiest thing to do, but they still have equal players. And obviously Bus Crew, well, Adiski's being a little aggressive here, but surely they're going to be able to catch him out. He almost got the cap, which is actually quite scary, all things considered. So, yeah, they might have to be a little bit more careful. There can be a single scout just slipping past if they're not careful when trying to push out here. And it looks like they're just not going to do that at all. They're building another sentry. They're content with just holding this for as long as they have to.
Yeah, it's exactly like you said. You need to play it safer at this point. After the removal of Batman from the map pool, Gully is like the only map really left where it's like really easy to bait things into last with cap time, and with this much cap time still here, you gotta be careful about it. So staying safe here on last for now. Still Slash up under point. No one's there under point as well. Just some sticks on the cap. So surely would in a little bit of time here, Basku will try to make a move that in backlines here. Maybe Bud goes there quickly, but just gets sidelined by Adiski in the meantime as well here. One down already. Great start. Gun Furrow still standing back, but no cap time, just gets gotten through Mankey on the point.
He's going to be fighting two players in water and going to get cleaned up for his troubles as well. So he's not really having a good time down there. Now, two players on the point. That's actually just going to be enough to cap out the point completely. No time to react, you know, for Milky at all. That's going to be a quick first round for the Bus Crew.
Yeah, and it's like I said, you can play with the point in mind quite heavily on this map, so if you have a chance, you want to take it. And just one quick juggle onto Mankey, even with the Evo, will just mean they can have just enough time to cap this one out. Great play by Basku, very intelligently played around what they were given. It's around in 5 minutes, it's a good start, you need a little bit more. Last time they had a really easy kill on the Medic. Let's see how it goes on mid-fight number 2.
Let's see if they forget about Adiski again, or if they're at least going to keep tabs on the man this time. Looks like they're going to watch people a little bit more closely, but Mankey is going to lose a duel below, so he's going to be the first player to fall yet again. Adiski dangerously low, but still lives. Earl gets taken down as well. Now 2 players down for Garda. They've decided they don't even want to contest the mid anymore. Bud is the only one still in. He's a little bit behind, and, you know, he's trying to maybe fight Slash on the mid here, but it's not going to really work out for him. Adiski's there to help him out as well, and ultimately he pays with his life. But at the very least, they kept their combo alive, and they have an Uber to try and hold here if they so desire, as, you know, Bus Crew's already on the second, already looking to take lobby and even roll this in as best they can. With the equal Ubers, it's certainly not going to be as straightforward for them. And the Garda are certainly looking to hold this as well, building a sentry, having a pyro ready already as well. They really want to make sure that this is not just a free push for the Bus Crew.
Even then, Basku, sure, it was only 5 minutes quote-unquote, but it still is like a rather quick round to start things off with, given the whole back and forth here. Basku played the patient game quite well here. They knew exactly how to bait things into their advantage here and eventually get the round, so I'm sure they have something planned already. Adiski is the start of things. He tries to jump through as the gun gets upgraded. Perfect timing, but unfortunately just enough with the medic. The Trum is in no major trouble here out of Basku. Backing off of lobby once again. Playing it safe. Don't want to risk your medic here if you don't have to. And leave moves onto Garda Panteri to take into their own hands, which won't get them far, unfortunately, for Mankey.
Yeah, he's just gonna walk into that sticky trap and get himself killed as well. So that's the counter sack out of the way. You didn't accomplish much with it, but at the very least you've gotten, you did something, I suppose. And we're back to our little bit of a stalemate here as, well, Busker's gonna try to somehow bust this hold open. I mean, that gun is obviously a big issue if you want to try and send in a soldier. You might even go with something a little bit more cheeky. If the next sack does not go well, Disky has to slip through water here a bit and gets an angle onto that sentry. That's not going to work when you have a pyro just right-clicking all of your projectiles, unfortunately. So he's just going to be kind of waiting for stuff to happen. Slash joins him in water. Again, this worked for them last time, but they had more cap time when they did it. So who knows if it's going to work as well for them. Bud is already mounts on top of the point, gets nudged off, but at the end of the day, he's actually just going to die to that pipe. A little bit of cap time out of Slash, but they were ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, this needs to help get like something else going, right? Unfortunately, with the gun still up, it's tough to get a sack going as well. Disky, like you said, going point now, but it's too late. People have time to react. More sticks, the soldier watching them as well. The timing was just off for them here, especially with Trap. Really, really unfortunate on the side of the Busker here. Good news for Garda Panteri at least. Sure, they're not getting out of here just yet, but they can stay here a little bit longer.
It's gonna be interesting how they maybe try to, get through this. Obviously, Slash dying there gives him the opportunity to play Sniper now, so he could very well be what busts open this hold for his team to be able to make a little bit of progress here. And a little bit of a distraction comes in through River. He gets a headshot onto Milky, doesn't get the kill quite now, and obviously they're gonna be aware of him. Milky's even gonna try to just pressure him out there, make sure that he doesn't get that cheeky kill, but he's actually just gonna finish off Bud. Now that's a player down. Milky also very dangerously low. They can't really protect the point all that well. I mean, Killsis gets on and he's getting 2 shotgun kills with the sentry having dealt a bit of prior damage. So you know what? He's definitely being a credit to his team for defending.
Yeah, that's the benefit of Engineer. It's basically just a slower scout in some ways. The DM plays out fairly similarly in all ways but speed and the double jump, which helps enough to just be on hit scan and hit these shots on basically your main. So that will save the day here just now. Otherwise, this could have been a problem, right? Like one missed shot could have been disastrous right in there on the side of the red squad. So for now, hanging in. That's not exactly great news, but it's better than nothing else, I suppose. 9 minutes already played, is still stuck on last. Basku, we've seen him last time already in the first round here, taking their sweet time, but it's worked before, so they're gonna just whack at this as long as they have to. And more cap time is eventually gonna spell disaster.
Yeah, it decays so slowly that even just getting a bit of cap time gives you so much more work already done in the next push that you can try to use. I mean, Hemp can basically just walk onto the point for free now. There's no stickies on it or anything at all. There might be people contesting him, but again, gets a bit of cap time. They take down Bud as well. Jan with a nice little bit of spam there to take him down. Mankey, dangerously low as well. He can't really engage in any sort of fight right now. Gets cleaned up because of it, and there you go. 2 more people just walk on the point and they cap it out again. That's happened twice now.
Yeah, it's just what you need to do here sometimes. This really is just becoming a little bit of a Badlands game right now. Just over and over and over, throwing yourself on point and just ignoring everything else until they finally crack on the defense. If they don't get everything to point to block this in time, they will just lose the game here. And if they do, you're still gonna get something out of it. Maybe a force, maybe some kills to play off. So one way or another, the Musketeers' way of playing here so far works quite nicely. Get things going into the next fight as well, with everyone just getting bombed right in immediately, but not for any success on Garda Panteri at all.
Jan going big there with some pipes very early in that mid-fight, picking up a couple of kills. Only Earl and Trum left as we go into a little bit of a pause. At the very least, both medics have survived the mid-fight thus far. God knows how long.
Okay, we'll see what happens. It looks like Hemp has had a quick DC. It's always good to know if the pauses are long or short. This one might be short if they're rejoining quickly here, hopefully. It's also always better if it's not the medics, I would assume as well. I had a game the other day where I met DC'd in the lower division, which is never optimal, let's say. So, you know, it could be worse. A scout missing for a second can still be detrimental. Certainly, if he was to be the one left staying behind for the cap, it would be kind of funny.
We'll have to see, I suppose. We won't know until 1.5 minutes from now, but either way, yeah, this is obviously yet another pretty bad mid for Garda. At least they hang on to their medic. You know, Trum, from the current standpoint, in no danger whatsoever. He's going to be able to live and even meet up with Earl here, potentially. So at the very least, he's going to be able to continue healing. He's going to be able to stay alive, and they'll have another good shot at least at trying to hold last. But all things considered, No, Busker are looking dominant right now.
Yeah, they have this firmly in their control right now. This has not been really Garda's game just yet, which, I mean, I don't know if this speaks to top 5's weaknesses on this map more than anything else at this point, in terms of circular logic at least, but hey, Busker takes it either way. Maybe they're just the insane team on Gully instead. Certainly on last, they're looking competent here, but Garda Panteri just a bit slacking on the defense right now as well, which altogether is just gonna be a nice recipe for Busker's success, and that's Garda once again taking the short end of the stick here, trying to play really aggressive on the mid fight, not getting much forward. Busker already onto second here. They have spawns coming, pretty much all of them together as well, but a little bit too late to defend the high ground here all too much. Yon just walking forward as the one-man tank he is. Takes down, kills this. There's a bit of trouble with the soldiers, but they're getting out of there at least as well. Earl going down to Wolf as well, who created the snap. A very unfortunate sequence of events.
And at least they're somewhat holding on. I'm very surprised with the aggressive hold by Garda here. They're really trying to make sure that they buy as much time as possible for their last hold. And now, you know, they're going to be finding themselves on their last again. At least they have an Uber. So at the very, very least, it's not going to be another free take for the bus crew. But they're already mounting themselves up in the river here, taking lobby as well. You know, the usual stuff that you do when trying to push into Gully Wash last. Got a little bit of spam out of Mankey trying to slow people down in river. Honestly, he can't do all that much by himself on this. He manages to catch somebody out that is overextended, and he's just gonna have to back out as well. So, yeah, again, the sentry's up, they have the pyro as well. The usual stuff here, really, as it is the bus crew's hold to bust again. Again, they're also up 2 rounds, so they can certainly play at their own pace right now. They do not have to worry about anything. You're on the enemy's last, and you're up 2 rounds.
And you're down 1 down. This is what the pause happens in real time here, but Tempest joined immediately back as well, so I'm gonna wait for him to rejoin the team onto the forward position, but otherwise it should be fine. And yeah, the bus can do whatever it wants now. It can get parked here for as long as they want to. It can just keep on trucking along as they would like to see it fit, but one way or another, they have the advantage position. As long as they make sure they don't lose out on all position on lobbies or second, it's going to be all fine. Once again, point play, and no one's really in position to deal with this game yet, so cap time, Pain Train coming out once again, air shot, Engineer even trying to get so much damage on everyone blocking. They're reacting quick now at least, but they still have to all go there, they're all so weak.
Yeah, and I mean, Hemp tries to get in there as well, get a little bit more cap time, he gets caught up before he can. And they've lost Slash during that as well, obviously, so they're down 3 players now on the side of the bus crew. It's giving Garda a little bit of an opening here to try and retake second. Mankey's leading the charge forward, just trying to chase these players out as best he can, and they're going to be able to retake second. Well, basically for free. No Ubers have to be exchanged or anything like that, and now maybe Garda can use a little bit of momentum here. Maybe they will go for the exchange into mid as well.
Well, if they haven't realized just yet as well here on Garda, maybe they're incentivized to take this fast. Warp on Battalion's backup right now, just waiting for the 600 damage to come his way here. You have something going on for post-Uber, maybe pre-Uber to force Ubers as well with here, but same idea on Bud as well, so it's just a bit of a spam fest right now. Both teams trying to get the damage going for the soldiers to find something to play off here. Both at 80-90%, they're about there already. Any second now they have these things ready to go. It's just a matter of how they want to use it. More often than not, see these banners be used post-Uber in some capacity, so likely that's what we're going to see here as well. Question is, who's going to take the fight here early, because both can do the exact same play with these banners at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I mean, you can use the Uber to try and, you know, build a little bit of that banner if you manage to slip past, do a little bit of extra damage while you're vulnerable. It looks like they're going to be able to force off the Uber out of Trump. Martin obviously way later here for the exchange, but ultimately there's not much happening. The teams just stare each other down. I think during that entire Uber, 2 projectiles were fired in total, so, you know, not much has happened there, but there is the banner coming out of Bud. He's going to be the first one to use it. Bork doesn't manage to respond with his own, and they're actually going to take down Bud, as he's a little bit too far forward, so that banner out of the side of Garda didn't accomplish all that much at all, but neither really did the bus crew one.
Well, it did enough, right? They just, they denied that. They used it later in a way that's just good enough, right? The banner was needed to go in deep, bus crew just sit back, let them walk into them, had a trap ready, denied the bomb forward as well. Trap deals 400 damage, is more than enough to kill a soldier even with 30% damage resistance, so that did the job just fine. Busky let once again Garda do the dirty work here for themselves to reap the rewards, and at this point that's just kind of the story of the game right now. It's just Garda making moves into like the mid and seconds, and Bosku just on last the only times they really have to take matters into their own hands at this point. And they can take the sweet time here. Sure, the last one they had was maybe a little bit too rushed, all things considered, but they recovered quickly from it. Back to last it goes. Both teams with Uber again. It's halfway through the game, and Garda needs some signs of life here.
Yeah, they definitely need to start picking up the pace. Maybe it's taken them a little bit to get into the match. Who knows, maybe once they've warmed up it's going to be a little better. That being said, they do pick up Slash there. Nice little pick by the soldiers, just extended into lobby there, but Adiski's already slipped past and he's already killed Milky, a very crucial pick to get there. No demo on the defensive side. Sure, you're down 2 players, but no 6 on the point means if a scout managed to slip past, that is going to be some decent cap time to get. Ultimately, it's not looking like that is going to happen, but at the very least, let's put them into disarray for a little while. And we do have kills on the Spy.
That's one way to try to get to the medic at least, and that might be just what they need to finally get the momentum swing out of last year as well. Problem is, it's going to take a while. Time is not exactly in their favor anymore. Sure, it's still 14 minutes. It's not little by any means, but still, they need to get going here sooner than later. And after all, if you just get spotted one Scouty like this, it could be bad. But no, the Scout realizes a second too late, turns around, can't call it in time for Martin to react. Matt down, that's exactly what they are looking for. But they need to still make this work out of last, and they gotta be careful because I'm sure Vasco has something planned on the way out of second here.
Yeah, there's no sticks on the point at all as well, so if they manage to just slip a single player past as Garda make their way out here, that can already be very, very bad for them. They'll leave an Earl behind, it looks. He's gonna at least flush out water, but ultimately, still a player slipping past could be very devastating for them here, so they're making sure that doesn't happen. They're gonna push in through top. Actually lose kills before anything. Warp is gonna die for his trouble as well. But they're not really wanting to use this Uber just yet, obviously. And if they can take second, even if they have to lose both scouts for it, I guess it's not too terrible. Diski's actually gonna try to use that opening immediately.
Oh no,
maybe slip through. Gets juggled and leaves his jumps a little bit too much, unfortunately. But that could have been crucial for their team.
It doesn't matter though, look at this. Everyone left second behind completely on the red side, and Bosco is just walking in there like it's no one's business. They don't have quite yet, but by the time they're here, on either side, they're gonna have Super Rally. Mankey trying to be the hero here, but skip jump right into the Scout. Slash Hemp is making short work of the soldier, and that's just, even without the last backup to win the round, just immediately success for Bosco.
Yeah, they were just not confident at all there, Garda. They were not confident in taking that push out, and now they find themselves in a very familiar situation yet again. The Scout has already slipped into water. Again, no stickies on the point. They're really confident in their soldier's ability, okay, Bud's ability here, to just try and protect the point as best he can. Mankey's going to try to join him, and they certainly push these players back for a little bit, but Bud's going to pay with his life. He gets caught out again by some spam, so that's a pick that's not going to be something you like to see. They lose the sentry as well. Yon, nice stickies there onto that, so they're going to have to switch the NG off to heavy instead. And there's some cap time coming out of 2 players already. It's so close already, and with everybody now bunch up on the point, Yon just doing more spam things. Milky finally deciding that he might want to put some stickies onto the point, but so much cap time already. It's just truly disgusting.
Yeah, that's gonna be scary here, because even by the time everyone's up again on the basket, the cap time barely decayed at all. They're gonna still have something to work with here. They're trying to push out a little bit, maybe get a bomb going, but right into the trap here, where Milky might have been slacking on the ones on point. Yon already had them ready for the push out here, gets the soldier right away. His kill will be spawning right away here, Bud's back on the server, but half the point still capped here, and anything going point right now would be very, very scary news for them.
It looks like, yeah, Slash is already trying to slip past again. There are aware Bud is obviously already mounted up on top of the point again as well. His favorite spot on these last holds, I've realized by now. And the Diski's down there as well to join his friend, his brother in arms. Bud's gonna jump down, trying to see what he can do here. They actually pick up Mankey, who was trying to contest them as well, but dangerously low, but he does live, as do both of his contenders. They're just, it's a back and forth between the soldiers here in water, really. Trying to see they can just edge out a little bit more of that cap time, but I think Garda has that point on lockdown, at least for the time being. As Yon just constantly peppering Bud as well, getting him off the top there. Mankey trying to maybe jump in, see if he can catch somebody out here. Doesn't quite manage to hit those rockets the way he needs to though. And it's just looking like they're feeding players in there every single time, over and over. Putting themselves at a severe disadvantage. Obviously they still have the sentry, they have the pyro protecting it. All it takes is a bit of coordinated spam and the pyro not being observant enough for a few minutes, not even minutes, moments. and that's the sentry gone immediately.
All it takes is just a few seconds of the pyro air blasting as well, and you're out of ammo, and suddenly the gun is just there, waiting for the NG to run out of ammo as well, and one second of bad timing could have taken the gun down quickly. However, speaking of bad timing, Yon goes down here as well. Just gets spammed down a little bit, and well, double down is reason enough to put some pressure forward. They need to anyway. 10 minutes left to go here. They sit on last for most of the game. They gotta get something going quickly here. And everyone's pushing out at the same time, and that's gonna be a Disky down quickly. 3 down total. Bomb on the medic. Martin will give in to the meme spoon. Saw what happened to Trump earlier. Does not want to fall victim here himself. Will have to fall back, however, with not much left on the board for the blue team. Basku gets out of here alive just about, but certainly not very happy. Trump not having to use it all for this, just really aggressive push-out for Garda. Will finally get something on the board here for them, even if it's just a cap on second and a little bit of momentum into mid.
Let's see if they can continue rolling forward. They obviously still do have that Uber to work with. Disky is hiding under, but they are looking at the very least. He's going to get onto the combo, but he's going to get cleaned up as well. Trump not really feeling any danger at all during that. He's going to hang on as well onto his Uber, and again, they're going to just take mid off the back of it too. Oscar really having to backpedal here, and Garda's already in lobby. I blinked and I missed it. They're already in lobby. They're already in behind. They used the Uber out of top. There was nobody to really use it on, as everybody on the bus crew is just on second. They managed to pick up Martin, and they take out Warped as well. Lose both of their soldiers, and well, not both of the soldiers. The demo and the soldier. Mankey's also dangerous low though, so there you go. I basically count him out already. It's only Earl and Trum left, and Earl is so low he can't really defend his medic at all. Trum actually gets the arrow onto Hems, so he still has a chance here. Who knows? Maybe he is
He
the
gives
DM
up. But
god.
Disky was playing with his food. Lets him sit there for the longest respawn possible, and it's 16 seconds at the end still. By the time this happens, everyone else is pretty much up again already. So Martin takes actually a healthy advantage out of this one. That was not even like such a bad idea by Garda. The wraparound could work. They used so early though. By the time they were faded, Basku wasn't just weak enough already to just convincingly win that fight in Garda's favor, and were able to just DM their way out of a lot of trouble because they had no position anymore on second there. That was just a matter of having to win this by raw DM to turn this around, and they managed to pull through just about this time. Scary few seconds there for the Basku, but they're coming out on top just well enough to have advantage and midpoint back in their control. Garda very unhappy tries to just bust through what they have with Mankey on Spy as well. It worked once, why not try again?
I did see Jon bump him for a minute, so I'm pretty sure they are aware, but he did uncloak. He might get out to Martin, does not quite manage, unfortunately. He is discovered before, and that is going to be it. Actually, they're going to use the Uber into second here on no target at all. There's no Garda players there. They've already evacuated second, and the Disky's going to trade with Bud in the river, so now Trump is finding himself on an Uber of his own. And even though they have just lost second, they're looking pretty convincing to try and re-push here. They take down Warped. No players behind to really have to worry about. And actually going to roll the scout even further in. Jon goes, actually gets taken down. Earl manages to clean up that kill as well. So that's going to be really good for them if they try to continue pushing forward here. Yeah, this is pretty good for them.
With Mankey from under certainly have a chance to distract the Buster to choke here. Bomb itself doesn't do much, but everyone's Buster to choke now. They just gotta hit the things quickly here. Warp from drop down now gets right on the medic.
Oh.
That's Trump going down here. Nothing left standing. Really, really good counteraction by Basket. Just kills this left Lowy. And not anywhere to go as well. Goes choke. Tried drop down. Decides against it. Cleaned up very quickly. That's going to be the fight going to Basku once again. Clutching this one out quite nicely in their favor. Barton with already basically full Uber on the way to last. And this could be dangerous now for Garda if they don't have a really, really good non-Uber hold.
I mean, Disky's already so far forward as well. He's in water again. He does get cleaned up by the soldiers. They're done of his stupid games. They're not having it anymore, but the Uber does come in out of the bus crew. And while they don't find any players, they do pick up the sentry, and obviously Garda players a little out of position for a while there. They have the heavy. Earl, so much damage tanked. And they're actually taking down Hemp and Warp there. So that's a kill onto Slash as well. They're actually holding on very, very well here. 3 frags going their way. They're up on the Uber as well. Nobody really remaining the whole second. I mean, Disky is here. He's going to try to go for a cheeky bomb. Actually gets onto Milky. It still lives for surprisingly long there as
He
well.
gets into Martin just all the way up
Oh
already
my.
while everyone's busy escaping one way. Martin just gets flanked from the other side with no eyes on Victor due to the bomb just being too busy trying to do the same to the other medic, and suddenly this is a whole different situation. They 2 down each. Sure, they're missing some damage classes on Garda, but they have the heals and they need to protect that as well. Trump into mid now, carrying the super forward, and people are still around. They gotta be careful. One trying to be weak, trying to sneaking behind, but there's the
Oh
flying
my
by.
God.
No eyes on Victor as the soldier comes in and gets the drive-by kill on the medic.
the back and forth of people not watching the flank whatsoever and medics having to suffer for it. Well, so much for that great play out of Garda. Unfortunately, the tables have turned extraordinarily quickly thanks to one funny shovel. And, yep, we're back in a very particular, very familiar situation with Garda finding themselves on their last yet again. I mean, we have Mikey being a little aggressive here, you know, he's got his team backing him up a little bit, and the Disky's actually getting taken out by the arrow.
I mean,
what
it worked
shot.
once. Why not try again? But Trump not letting it happen this time. Not getting anywhere close to this medic this time around here. Trump will stay alive, but that means very little. Unless they can live this Uber first of all here. Sure, they managed to do it last time, but I mean, it's still not an easy hold at all. They're gonna see what they can put on the board right now, and it's not an NG just yet. That kills is not very sure if they want to have a spy or sniper here. End up on sniper instead. Push is about ready now. Some traps around is all they have to worry about, but they can just pop through and get in anyway.
Oh, he actually picks up Earl very early there as well with some decent damage, and Kills is taken down as well, no heavy. But they do lose Slash and Disky out, warped as the Uber has faded now. Garda actually having themselves, at least for a while there, with the player advantage, and certainly the health advantage, as Morten is dangerously low and has to escape too. Jan stuck in water, and he's getting smoked out by Bud. Might win this fight, does not quite do it. And that's gonna be another push stunted, but again, you know, you have less than 4 minutes left by now. If you're Garda, you have to start pushing forward if you even want to be able to take home any points on Gully Wash. And it's starting to become a little bit of a pipe dream, I'd argue.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be difficult here. You just gotta keep on going. This is where you either make a miracle happen or you very awkwardly do rounds of pushes that look bad because you kind of have no choice. And right now, it's starting to look a little bit like Glenn. Trying to bust through shot without using and see out already. Soldiers forced combo here, trying to reconnect, but much too late to get there in the end. Taken down by the Solis, it's just 3 left alive. They're trying to not let anything get through choke, but the Disky faster than the Stickies on the trap here. Just gets right on the medic. Trump has to use, and this Uber will not do much. Maybe he can fall smart in the end, but they have to get out of there as well at the end still.
Yeah, and I mean, even if you get the force out of Morten here, which they didn't even manage to do.
They don't need to either, actually.
Yeah, I mean, he's just gonna have to run away. Milky's actually on the chase. Gets hits the one pipe, hits the second one as well. Alright. I think this man has finally warmed up a little bit. Jan is still in behind here. Gonna get into a 1v1. Earl is gonna be there to help him clean up. Still, they have to keep rolling this forward. It is only 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock, so they definitely have to roll this through flawlessly until last. Slash is already up on the sniper as well, maybe catching out a little bit later. Gets a body shot onto Kills is there, but ultimately only alerts them to his position, so he's basically already, you know, expended his usefulness.
Super high one by Disky right on the medic, but doesn't have enough damage. Alright, they're catching a bit of a break here. Basku got a little bit too cocky on mid, decided to not want to use ever. Much to Garda's benefit in the end, and with this one going to fail as well, they have a chance at least, but this round has to be won immediately on this first attempt to push into last, or else it's looking dire. Disky will just about have time to spawn. Uber into last, Pyro Gun as you've seen before, Basku's first last hold. Gun down pretty quickly, it's a nice start. Uber getting to cap as well. Denied a bit by Warp, everyone must be spawn. No one's really denying the spawners on left either. They can all get out of spawn and get to point, deal with the players. They're Mankey, the only one near point anymore, except for Trump. Hiding in secret, the back end would still be good. Hampus point on heavy maybe. They have some traps already, and they're expecting someone to be here. They might know where Trump is, and yeah, that's the traps already. They don't will have to die for this, but it's a death worth taking, I suppose.
It's a funny kill to go onto the logs. I don't know. I guess you know, assisted suicide still count on the logs, so he's gonna be having that one to go onto the funny numbers. And ultimately, unfortunately, it's not gonna be Garda rounding out that round though, and I think that basically seals the deal. That's the final nail in the coffin for Gully Wash here, as West Crew are gonna be your victors. The Garda might be able to take a round here if this push goes in their favor somehow. This very dry push, they've already lost 2. The Sentry is still wreaking havoc as well, but it looks like he's not gonna have that great of a time either trying to get onto the point here. Jan is already ready for the man down there, and yeah, I think we've entered funny time. Where we see people switch to like Huntsman Sniper or something like that.
Double spy backup, I don't know, whatever they feel like, I guess. Now it's time. That's one already. so maybe we'll see it. But yeah, one way or another, likely Busker will win the game. Probably also at 2-0 at this point. Maybe they can get a funny round on the board here. Maybe Busker will let it happen. But for now, no one's making a good concerted effort to play together anymore, and I can't blame them. This is just time over to really win the game. Just have some fun and get ready for the next map here at some point. Mankey sneaking about. Wants to get to Dion, but Dion knows what's up. Hits the pipe, walk with the cleanup. It will be a kill. Onto the spy. And yeah, I mean, I mentioned Busker should have a little bit more control here, but this looked, even despite the scoreline not really being much better, a little bit better even than the qualifier game. They had control pretty much most of the way through here, and unlike the qualifier games, there wasn't these like explosive offensive bursts for Garda basically ever.
Yeah, like they certainly picked up the pace a little bit towards the last, like, I don't know, 6 minutes of the map there. I guess maybe Busker also took off the throttle a bit, but yeah, I think they took a while to get into the match, and they picked up the pace a bit. We'll have to see how it goes on product. For now, Busker are going to be taking Gully Wash 2-0 as we look at some numbers.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting product for sure, but I mean, with how it's been on Gully, it's going to be tough to see how Garda can make any more happen here right now. They got to have a big change of pace. We'll see if they can perform to that in the end here. For now, Gully was a wash, apparently, as it seems. Yon performing pretty well, it seems here. Going ape mode, as his name suggests in server. 21 kills, big damage all around for him as well. Adisky, I mean, if you get a Merc, I mean, might as well get someone that can just do the med kill funny spoon rollout immediately as the first action of the game, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly already showing that was a good choice to, let him be the Merc. I mean, Jon, clean.
No disrespect to Poison, I guess.
As well.
Most importantly here.
Yeah.
Although I don't know, Poison, I don't remember Poison doing a lot of pain train stuff, and that was very important to how the game went off in the early stages, apparently, when they just had all the point control here over and over and over. So maybe that's just something they need to start doing more and more on Gully, I guess, because that helped quite a bit, I want to say.
And also, you can tell, like, how, just looking at the overall stats, how, it was more Busker's game. I mean, they got like 20 more kills overall.
Also,
which
is somewhat slow game overall, which isn't surprising, given what we saw, right? It definitely was. I am kind of sad we don't have heat maps anymore for these maps to see like where things happened. Because, like, I mean, this got to be like a huge red circle just on like lobby for the bus crew, and then just like basically just nothing on the other side of the map.
Yeah, like I think probably like 75% of that match happened on Garda's last.
Yeah, which is like, really unfortunate for them.
Just where it was.
But Busker made sure that it stayed that way, so very well deserved to their side at the end of the day here, obviously. And this time, however, it will be very different going into the next map here. DM-wise, Busker looked warm up all right. Sure, Garda had the moments, of course, but now they really have to have these moments more than just for a few between here, because it's Cough product next up here. And while just calling it a DM map was a little bit dismissive, because you still have to play smart in certain ways for sure, you have to back up all those smart plays with DM at all times.
Yeah, it's a very DM heavy map. You can't just exclusively rely on a cheeky smart play or some slightly superior positioning.
No funny like point stacking here anymore, I want to say.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to pull off. I mean, you can try, but I suppose it won't be a welcoming outcome, let's say it like that. It's definitely going to be interesting. I mean, DM-wise, the Garda players are certainly dangerous, especially Milky. When the man hits his stride, he is a dangerous demo man. He can be very dangerous. And if you're playing a DM-heavy map, who knows? It could be an advantage that they need. But Busker are playing so well right now. Like, they seem to have way better focus. Because what I've realized, and I'm not even the one that's supposed to really observe that stuff, right? I'm just supposed to say what's happening. But from what I've realized about Garda is their soldiers especially play very disconnected. Like, Mankey just kind of goes in and does his thing a lot of the time. And, if it works out, that's great. But if it doesn't, then it's basically you just fed a player for no reason, right?
Yeah, that's like, in some ways, from what I've seen in the one Busker game I watched back earlier today, from Granary against Aurochs, kind of something that happened to some extent to them as well. Maybe this is just a little bit more vocal than Poison is in terms of coordinating plays with the scout specifically towards the flank. Maybe something they need to pick up on when the main is back here as well, something to work on. But it wasn't nearly as much of an issue. Granted, it didn't come up much, but the flank play obviously was well coordinated overall. So an issue that kind of persists here on Garda was something that Basku had struggles with and can't afford to fall back into this map as well, because it will show its ugly head very quickly if you just constantly feed players in DM fights.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to see. Also, we are being told that we're gonna be apparently moving servers in between maps here. So we're gonna be waiting a little bit longer, I guess, until product gets to actually go to a head here.
What would it be about Prem delays, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Look,
Wouldn't be
they
TF2 otherwise.
they took the match early, so they had to delay it in some other way. They already doing it a week in advance. They might as well delay it in some other way, technically. It's crazy that you can even do that, but I guess it makes sense. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter when you play the matches. Technically, I suppose if you could get every team to agree to it, you could play all your matches on one day, right? Theoretically. I suppose there's no rule that speaks against that.
I think you would get like an admin to maul very badly.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably make a lot of people very mad, but at the very least, there's nothing that speaks against it legally.
Holy shit, I just opened ETF2L and it's pink. Hell yeah.
Well, guess that team's done for the season, alright. It's actually a genius strategy. If you have a team that's like, it's like a kind of like a mixed team, or like a team that's only really keen for the first couple of weeks, they just play all their matches in the early weeks, and then they just fold.
I hope we have a button. Sorry, not listening at all, but I hope we have a button going forward that is just like dark mode, light mode, old mode, and pink mode in the future for the ETF2L website.
Right, it's April Fool's, isn't it? Right, yes. I didn't even check that.
I mean, no, of course not.
Oh, that's beautiful. Obviously. I didn't even look at ETF2L today. Yeah, that's wonderful.
Well, that's a thing. Apparently, it's interesting. So we'll see how that goes. Let me see. That should be the server going forward here. So we should go underway shortly enough. But it's deep 2 players, so it's going to take a second for everyone to connect properly. As it goes, if you aren't too much in the scene, I guess sometimes things just take a while, unfortunately. But
yeah,
that's the beauty
players
of it, I
want
guess.
to do their own thing. Like sometimes they're just like, oh yeah, we're getting started with the next match. Well, like 3
to be
people
fair,
just
this
go
time
for
it
like
was
a
the
smoke
server
break.
running out, apparently, which is just
but,
a little bit funny more than silly, I guess.
There's going to be like 3 people that use this opportunity to go like take a quick smoke or something. They're going to go on a quick break. You already know that that's going to happen. It's bound to happen.
Not to name any names, but Dempsey definitely does that a lot. So I guess I am naming names.
Wow.
But it's fine. He wrote an article about me being fired, so I guess it's, I guess he deserves it, I think, maybe.
Maybe? I don't know. Did you get fired, though? That's the real question. Can people believe it or not?
Well,
I guess we'll see tomorrow.
It was a mutual decision that was made for me, so that's basically getting fired, right?
I guess we'll see whether or not it's true, huh? That's always the thing. You gotta wait a day.
I'm just here because like no one else was available, so they just got me back in again.
I guess that's
quite sad.
Enough. You're like at the very back of the very back of the chain now. So whenever there's literally nobody else to fill the role, I guess we'll get Dumb in. Got no other choice other than that. Well,
server is loading. Nice.
How do you think product is gonna go for these teams? Do you think the Bus Crew is gonna be able to continue their momentum out of the first map, or do you think Garda's going to pick up the pace a little bit more?
I don't know, because it wasn't like, sure, they weren't control, but they weren't like playing aggressive a lot, right? They did things, of course, to keep them in check and eventually get these rounds, of course, as well, but they didn't play fast necessarily. They played smart more than anything, and you certainly can do a healthy amount of that on this map as well, but you got to back it up with some of the former as well at all times here. So I don't know, like if Basku can just keep the confidence up like they have so far and play as well together as one unit as they have been so far, sure, this should be a good game. But I think actually the shift of momentum here going from game mode to game mode might actually help Garda a little bit more than you might think, just because they finally get out of the stalemates here where they were just stuck not finding answers for so long. Maybe just having this like fresh start, everything just immediately goes into fights a lot more now might actually do them some good, I want to say. Certainly are players that thrive in these environments, certainly something they want to be able to do even in sixes, on 5CP maps, have been in the qualifier games that I saw against Basku as well. So an environment they can perform in, but it's entirely up to them to still be in this, still play well, and first of all, also have practice product. And that's going to be an awkward one because they play very early. Maybe they didn't get enough practice in yet.
not a map that you would have expected to play this week already. You should have probably waited another week for, but maybe they were anticipating it. Maybe
April
they've been
Fools, we're playing today.
doing stuff. Yeah, April Fools. We're playing the map that most people don't actually like because it's different, and there's always an
The
interesting
question
dynamic
remains
around
to be
that.
answered, however, who's the prankster and who's being pranked here between these two?
Yeah, exactly. Which team was the one that proposed it initially? I wonder. I can't imagine it would have been Garda because they played yesterday, right? So
I wouldn't imagine it's Basco because they're playing one down.
yeah, like that's the next thing as well. Like you can't really anticipate. I guess you really just have to ask around whose decision it really was. Maybe it was a mutual decision. Maybe two players from each team came together and were like, let's just mess with everyone. Let's just have some fun and ruin ruin everybody's life. No, but yeah, Prague's gonna be an interesting change of pace for these players because of the King of the Hill game mode.
It's always
I also
interesting to
think-
see. Oh no, you go ahead first.
Yeah,
Okay.
I also think that like as far as I could observe the fights, they weren't necessarily all that decisive one way or another usually. And
Kind of.
the two rounds that Bus Crew took were off of cheeky cap plays at the end of the day,
Yeah,
right?
like I said, work smart, not hard, right?
They weren't really due to a decisively one push or anything like that. Matter of fact, most pushes they had into last move Ubers or whatever kind of went poorly for them. So like usually when they try to push into last with an Uber, they actually like ended up losing second again. So yeah, I think if it boils down to more of a DM battle, this could certainly be something that favors Guard a little bit more. As maybe they don't have the strategies, but they certainly have the muscles to power through.
Yeah, I'm keen to see what they can do here. And like you said, there needs to be a little bit cleaner on the bombs by Garda as well here. These soldiers had like good individual moments, but they needed to play off stuff a little bit better here. That was lacking on them a lot here. And on a map that can be considered very soldier unfriendly for a lot of people, you gotta make the most of these bombs here, because otherwise you will just get eaten alive by these scouts. And with how everyone has been playing so far, that very easily can happen. Even on the losing side on Garda, both Earl and Kills has had their moments here. Just thinking back to the one Uber, Earl just took deep, just ran into them with the Uber all the way to mid and just to destroy Yon at the very deep end of that.
Yeah. All right. How do you think the scoreline will look? Is it going to be like a 3-2? Is it going to be like a 3-0? What are we looking at?
I want to say Garda will put up a fight here. I don't know how much necessarily after last map, but I want to think this is a little bit better for them. I want to say it's going to be at least a 3-1, that they can make this look a lot more competitive here and go out on at least somewhat of a high note after last map, at least, and not be too all heads down here after a match like this against the Bascu. But with how well Bascu played as a team overall, it's hard to imagine this going any other way. But this is the beauty of product, right? It's just a bit of a toss. Yeah, I mean, kind of. It certainly can be. It is the awkward one here. Some people love it, some people hate it, and no matter what, you'll have to play it, and we'll see right now how this will go for them.
I agree. I'm inclined to agree that Garda probably, unless they somehow miraculously really pick up the pace, turn around, whatever, are gonna maybe put up a better fight here, but ultimately still lose out to the Bus Crew because they're just looking a lot more solid. At least coming out of Gully Wash, they seem to have the more solid play overall, and obviously strategy, while it doesn't matter as much on product, can still certainly do something for you. I mean, maybe Adiskis just does his thing, meme spoons in, and gets like 3 market gardens throughout the rounds, right? And then that seals the deal. You never know.
Well, we'll see how it's going to
said,
go. It's now map to Bascu and Garda Panteri fighting it out after a win for Bascu on Gully Wash. We're going into product now, the King of the Hill map in the rotation. Left to go through for these two teams in this early week 4 match. Both teams rolling out. Bascu still on blue, Garda Panteri still on red, going right up into the mid fight. And once again, like on Gully, a little bit of a slow start to begin with.
Yeah, they're really just like staring each other down. A bit of pistol spamming, a bit of rockets flying occasionally, but not much happening. There's the coordinated bomb out of the Bus Crew, but they don't really meet anything. They actually lose warp to it, and Adiski's also now stuck behind, having to fight a little bit, or at least escape with his life. Bud gets taken down in the meantime. Adiski cleaned up by Mankey now, but Bus Crew much more dominant on the point, and they're going to be the first to cap it out.
Ooh, an early pause this time here, so we're just going to have a lot more pre-game, it seems. Granted, in STV, the pause is obviously a little bit earlier for us to see than it is in the actual game, so there's probably some game played before the pause actually happened here. Either way, Bascu takes the cap. That naturally always helps a bit. I always like to think that like the most important time of a King of the Hill map is always like when it starts getting to overtime. Whoever like gets there first always has the upper hand for the last little bit. Obviously, right? Seems like a no-brainer, of course, but it just matters so much at the end to just have this power position, because you just can give up the point if you have to for the final fight and come back in with better spawns once more afterwards. It can matter so much here, and any second can help you get there. Bascu takes the lead for now. We don't know for how much just yet, but whoever the pause was for, on a map where the timer ticks down a lot quicker than on 5CP, might just be a big deal instead, like it was last time.
Yeah, you don't really want to lose your time at all on King of the Hill, because every second is so much more valuable. You only have upwards of 6 minutes plus whatever overtime you might need per round, and that's all you have to work with, as opposed to technically infinite length. Well, the 30 minutes for 5CP. That being said, the pause has subsided and the teams are looking to fight out again. Lots of cap time there for Garda already, and they're actually going to cap out the point, using that ability that they have a little bit more players there out of that first fight. They're going to be able to retake that point quickly, but ultimately, obviously, yeah, Bascu immediately re-aggresses as well. They're gonna get a lot of captain and actually pick up kills early. The Uber comes out of Trum and they're gonna send in Milky. Lots of damage onto Jon, but he's gonna get flashed by his own Uber now. And the Uber is obviously much better for the Bascu as they cap out the point as well. They kill Trum, which is a very crucial pick to get there at the tail end of that Uber, just to make sure that, you're not gonna be at a disadvantage as yours fades.
Alrighty, let's see how this goes. Bascu back on the timer. Times are still close, of course. It's very early into the round here. But Bascu with Uber advantage here as well will probably be able to play around that going forward here once they have it. It's going to be an awkward one for Garda Panteri to deal with. They want to, in that case, however, get going quickly before they have anywhere to respond with here and sneak away with the cap time once again. Slowly but surely working the spam, keeping Bascu in check, forcing them back a little bit. Everybody very hesitantly contesting here, except for Disky just busting through the flank. Bomb comes through by Spot. On the other side as well, trying to land on the combo here. Does some damage, but clearly not enough. And they have to fall back once more, knowing that Martin's about to have the Uber.
Disky absolutely decimating the flank there. You'll love to see it. And yeah, that basically sealed the entire push. They send in both soldiers, they get decimated by the scouts, and Garda really having to try to do their best thing. I mean, they're gonna have the Uber here so they can go for the exchange. Obviously, if they can send in a bit of a cheeky sack, they might be even able to pop it off early. They're gonna lose kills to Jon though. So they're definitely going to be down a player if they try to go for something here. Milky's going to walk forward a bit and actually get picked up a little bit too far extended, as Trum was too low to really heal him effectively. And yeah, that's going to be bad for them. Trum actually getting popped off by Disky there, getting forced out, and they're going to try to take this in as best they can. They do pick up Jon, but at the end of the day, Martin has a way better Uber to just push back any players here, maybe even kill some of them. They do pick up Bud before the Uber even happens, but that's it. Yeah, they don't find anybody else and they actually lose Slash. Okay. Fair enough. However, Garda managed to cap out the point here now with less than a minute left for Bascu. You certainly want to hold on to a point for a little bit yourself. You want to be able to hold it for a little bit longer, as Bascu are going to be trying to mount a bit of a push back here. They're meeting themselves up on the cliffside. Disky again just walks past pretty much uncontested on the flank. He gets one rocket onto Mank. He gets the second one, gets cleaned up himself though before he manages to get the kill. So for once, they didn't just let him waddle forward and decimate the flank once again. Now Bud taking a bit of a high ground, trying to jump in, jumps back out again. The Uber actually comes out of Trum already, and they get out to Martin. Alright, they pick up Jon as well. Working out decently well for them. Nice little stickies there onto Slash, taken care of as well, so that worked out very well for them. Warped is in very deep, and actually gets onto Trum! Oh my lord!
All that distance covered and still has one rocket left to go and the health to do it as well. After such a good fight as well, that was a really good Uber actually. Mickey with some great stickies here. I think he killed a scout and jumped out with it at the same time. While kills this cleans up the rest of them. Really good job offensively speaking by that Garda, but just a second too late. On the way out once again, come down. Sure will not immediately be met with full Uber ad, but it's still gonna hurt quite a bit here. Bascu already in the last minute. Once they recap this one, it's gonna be dire, but for now they can fight back. But goes in, takes the fight at least as well, but will take the scout to clean up. First pistol shots will do it in the end. 3-down actually now with Trum getting piped by Jon. That is keep on the fight here all the way through Bascu and then just OTMing them very quickly. Kills was the last one to go down. This will be the recap for the Bascu. They're delaying the cap, at least for the medic. Not going to bother waiting for Warp all too much. They just want to get the time now more than anything while the Mets up again and just get into the crunch time here.
Yeah, I mean, the timers are equal as it was capped out, basically, so this is certainly going to be the last moments of this match. Either way, we'll have to see how Garda try to approach their retake here. They're already taking so much damage. Milky actually taken down by the spam, ultimately, so that's going to be a lot of damage missing for them in this fight. Earl gets sent high into the sky and manages to live barely. Health is also pretty low. Trum really trying his hardest to keep his scouts alive here, but he's spreading out the damage so much he can barely keep them healthy. But also it's so dangerous low, having to jump away again. Earl taken down. They're not having a good time right now, really trying to retake the point here. They have to wait on this Uber, and obviously Martin already has his. They do pick up Slash here, and the Uber exchange does come out as they get onto the point. They have to shoot the non-shiny players. They have to pick up the frag as the Uber fades. They pick up a Disky on the sidelines. Now that the Ubers are over, the fight can collapse, and it's certainly looking like it's going in favor of Garda right now, with only Martin as the only player left, Slash the respawner, to meet up with him. But Garda managed to retake for now.
I don't know if I like them not delaying here. Sure, it's awkward to have to delay while the other team is in overtime, but they're not here. You can afford to do that. Now the scouts are missing where Bascu's already on the way back a lot quicker than the scouts are coming, and they're taking their liberties here. This is deep while the scouts are only up now. Warped in deep as well while the chance is still there, trying to get some damage going. Doesn't work out too well though, just a second too late. Scouts just back in time to do the dirty work here, clean up quite nicely already. 3 kills between the two of them, and there's the big bomb coming through as well now. And Bascu's just getting completely decimated, just getting ahead of themselves. Off of the respawns here, looks like a slight mistake gets turned advantage for Garda just because Bascu takes it a bit too easy.
Yeah, I think they're getting a little overeager, a little cocky, and they're like, oh, well, we've got the overtime. We don't have to worry about things. And as it turns out, feeding in players one by one might not be the best pushing strategy. This is going to be the last opportunity they possibly have at this, as Trump hangs himself on an Uber as well, uses it on the point immediately. Just block out any attempts at people capping, and nobody can get to the point in time. The first round is actually going to go the way of Garda.
Yeah, that is a very surprising comeback. Like I said, this one mistake at the end actually turned out huge in Garda's favor here, and that's gonna let them run away with 1 round at the very least already, and 1 more with how the rules work to at least get ETF2L points, and then 1 more on top of that to get a straight win. So 1 step at a time, could be doing this.
It very much is looking like it could work out for them. They're looking a lot stronger on product than they did on Gully Wash. Let's see if they can continue this in the second round. Again, a little bit of spam being exchanged. Bud is actually going to jump in a little bit, gets juggled by the scouts, but he's mostly just a distraction as Mankey slips in behind. And they actually pick up Slash with a bit of spam by Milky. Mankey now onto the combo as well. Doesn't quite get the kills he's looking for though. Martin keeps most of his team alive as he's actually just spawned, never mind. Somehow his team isn't really dying, which surprises me, but yeah, he's kept most of them alive just by his mere presence, and Garda cap out the point first, but they're certainly not in a very dominant position to continue trying to hold it. They have the Uber, but Bud gets taken down before it is ever popped off. They have it used now. Martin obviously has his own. He's going to respond with it now as he gets taken low onto health. Yeah, they're having a much better Uber. Kills gets taken down for his troubles, and they're certainly having a good time holding out this midpoint now. Retaking that with only 40 seconds, not even 40 seconds, taking off the clock. Worked out well for them.
Alrighty, well, let's see what they can do with the point position now. It is still down. Is at least 1 kill to work with here on Garda, and it's not going to get much better here. Sure, it's close to even, but it's also advantage still just about the Bascu, so it matters into their hands now. Taking this forward all the way onto Yon. 3 people going for the DuMmTm. Takes the scouting in to take him down here. Mankey still there, ready to shoot even more than that. Scout taken down as well, and with an optimistic bomb to get some damage towards Trum and Bascu, but not much more than that. So, fight well taken for the side of Garda. Just really good focus fire to get the kills they needed. No DuMmTm, no problem. It seems on their side now, and they will take the point. Bascu falling back, building away. They want this Uber going. First things first here. Maybe take an exchange. Certainly will have to go through some sort of duel fight to get anywhere close to point because Trump's about to get just the same time they are. So this will be some hard work needing to be done here to take things forward on the blue side here. Uber does get popped fairly early. Hamster takes a lot of damage. Has a good flash in there as well. Lots of flashing on both teams here. 3-man Uber all the way through, but it's Garda just going really deep all the way through with the stickies on the Martin. Mankey cleaning up the Disky too. They're having all the position they need, but behind them denies space. One more time onto Yon, and with 3R, Bascu's not going anywhere.
Yeah, they just completely abused that early Uber pop out of Bascu, chased them out, cut them off. Insert maneuver, it worked out beautifully. Garda holding holding this point with an iron fist, not letting go of it whatsoever. And we're not seeing any off-classes yet either to try and even break this. Buskrew perfectly content in trying to send in a bit of a sack wave here, maybe try to see if they can get some player picks as they need them now. They're going to be able to pick up Earl early, but it is just a scout. They lose Jan for it at the end of the day, so certainly not a trade worth having if you're trying to retake the point. And yeah, they lose a Disky as well on the sidelines again. The Uber comes out of Trum again. Martin nowhere close to an Uber of his own. He does escape, but ultimately they just get chased out. And now Garda, even with they could do the forward hold here if they so desire. Looks like they're at least going to send a few people up onto the cliffside as Buskrew make their way forwards into their grass and push back the few players there. Now, obviously, Martin having the Uber of his own, try to regress here a little bit, and that's certainly what they're going to try doing to get in as far as they can. Garda actually just giving up a lot of space. Very clever play, naturally. You don't really, want to just lose players for no reason. That being said, he barely doesn't get Martin. That could have been very dangerous if he had hit that one rocket. It could have been all he needed. As it stands, Martin actually hangs onto the Uber for longer, and Bud barely escapes with his life.
Really wanted the Disky to die there, yeah, but the Disky just out of there before anything can get done to him. So Buskrew retakes this. That is good news for them, of course. They're heavily down right now, though. Looks like Garda takes product as the opportunity they need to get back into swing of things here, like we might have a little bit suggested at least. But with the current time lead, looking maybe even better than we even have hoped for them right now. So it's Buskrew's game to win right now. They have the uphill battle to fight quite literally, because Garda is already pretty much on point once again. Could contest them heavily to deny the cap time here, while they're just standing on the point. Banky with the bomb from the flank, middle of the Titans as well, cleaning up everything that's on the right side of the cap while getting the force of the Martin. And no one left to receive it at all. It's just the soldiers in the back, causing some mayhem, getting some kills. Meme Spoon will miss, however, this time for a Disky. Martin going home empty-handed, no teammate, no Uber left in hand. And Garda, this time around, will not mess around, will delay the camp for their own spawns. Benefit, have the time to spare, of course, for the last 30 seconds on the red side here. Just a bit more to go to at least get into point range, let alone have match point in hand.
I mean, it's certainly looking good for them. Not only are they very good on the time right now, they also have a full Uber to try and hold the point with, and it is completely in the Buskrew's hand to see what they can do. Warp goes in for a deep bomb. Hemp goes down early, though. And Disky picks up Pilsis, but is it going to be enough? The Uber has already come out of Trum. And they just pressure back all these Buskrew players. They rotate around, try to get on the point again. And Disky picks up Earl, but they lose Warped and Slash. So if you're the Buskrew here, you're certainly having a hard time. Morton is the only player left on the point, gets cleaned up as well.
They just hit
that's the second round.
Milking the pipe, Drum with the arrows, not just shooting down everything to be weak enough for those two to clean them up in the first place. And just some beautiful DM here for Garda Panteri to take this 2-2-0. Like I said, by the rules, you get 1 point already with 2 rounds, even if you lose. But why start losing now? This was less close than the first one, so why just not get this going the entire distance? They can make this a tight game if they want to. It's in their hands now.
Yeah, it's certainly possible that they can just sweep King of the Hill product completely. As we're into our third round here, potentially match point, Warp is going to trade with Earl effectively, as Bud goes in as well, gets cleaned up behind. So right now, looking a little bit better for the Buskrew here. They certainly have a lot of cap time early. They pick up Kilsis as well, and he chooses not to bomb in there. Very wise decision by the man. I will not fault him for that, as he meets up with the rest of his team on cliffside again, and they're going to try to mount a repush. Buskrew also pretty defensive positioning. They're not too far forward. They're certainly waiting for what Garda will throw at them, as they kind of just sit back a little bit now, taking some positioning. Mankey against jumping in behind. He's going to fight with a Disky as the fight undergoes on the point. And yeah, it's just a little bit of back and forth. They lose Jan on the side of Buskrew, which is pretty bad. The Uber does now come out. They force it out of Trum as well. Slightly better for the side of Garda, but he's also flashed slightly more. And they actually lose Earl as the Uber fades first. Slash is going to go down as the Trum and Warp equally. So again, it's a back and forth, and Martin is just so dangerously low, but does manage to live at the end.
Alright, well, that's a good news wrap in a losing fight, at least, in the favor of Garda here at the end. We'll take the point now. It did take a while, though. This whole fighting took so long, the cap didn't happen until now. It's a full minute for Buskrew to take down here already. That's a nice position to be in as you lose points still, and the time lead at the very least. Mankey just waiting very patiently in the back lines. just all the way behind where Basku's taking this forward already. Wants to maybe spawn camp somebody, gets onto Disky, takes the pack, might be able to jump out, has a scout of backup too, just jumps all across for Mankey to not hit any damage. Will just about get out, but not for long. Walk with the cleanup here, just getting from bad to worse. Rest of the team ready to push on Basku now as well. It took a while, wanted to make sure they deal with the sword in the back, and so no one can get him out here. And that seems to be getting rewarded right now, because Garda very happily is giving up point control right now at least. Gives them a point once again. It got a good 45 seconds at least out of this first cap for themselves here, but still, Basku sits on point with Uber now, so the Uber fight seems inevitable at this rate. Let's see what Garda can do on this one. Last time it worked really well. They took it very aggressively. They didn't have any space at all anymore, but they're a lot more hesitant to use this time around.
Yeah, they really don't want to mess it up and allow Basku to really take any ground here, and they're actually going to be able to force out Martin very early. They do lose Bud for it, kills us and Mankey as well before their Uber is really popped off at all. Trump's going to have to save his last 2 remaining players, and they managed to at least kill Slash with the Uber and potentially cap out the point. Nope, Milky is going to get pushed off before he can round out that cap as well, and they lose Trump towards the tail end, so not quite what you want to see if you're rooting for Garda here. Because certainly, now it's going to be looking a little bit tougher for them as this round progresses. Again, pretty solid iron hold here for the bus crew on the point. They have the Uber ad as well, and Garda is going to start to have pulling out some more crucial plays if they want to re-aggress the point more easily. Mankey is going to try to do exactly that, jumps in behind again as they just take full advantage of that on the bus crew. 3 players down already, including the medic. It's an absolute massacre.
It be like that sometimes. Sometimes you just lose the DM fight, and sometimes you lose it really badly. And unfortunately for Garda, they're in no position to lose these anymore. They have not even a full minute of their timer right now this round. Basku already to the last 40 seconds with big Uber ad in their hands as well. Like I said, no time to start losing fights anymore, or keep on losing fights, I suppose. Because now it's just Basku waiting here with an Uber disadvantage that they can only overcome if they get time on point in the first place. So they need to do this with a drive push force, anything like that, which is really difficult, by no means impossible, but it's still an uphill battle here. They want to come through, getting close to Martin. Will have to use quite quickly there, at the very least. That's a good sign already, but spawn's taking a while as well. Everyone's going deep as well. Yon behind them tries to cut off the axle. They have time to react, but so does Adisky. Goes the other way where the Demo Man went, and that's just the medic going down. Full wipe, waiting to happen. Kills is just taking the good fight here, gets 2, but that's all they're gonna get here. Soldiers down, not much more, and no one's getting close to point. Bombs come through much too late. And Basku makes the most of getting forced there to just completely wipe them out and take the round 2-1. Still match point Garda, they can still get free. If they just win this round here, Basku could go home with no points at all out of map 2. But they're looking slowly but surely like they're getting into the map.
Yeah, I feel like Garda they were strong out of the gate, and now Basku are finding their stride a little bit as well. Certainly a lot more dominant that round. Adisky goes in very deep earlier with Warp as well. They're already onto the combo. Trump so low, taken down immediately. I mean, they're gonna respond with 3 frags onto the bus crew by themselves, but Martin at least still semi-alive for a minute there until Bud decides to have a word with that, and now Yon is the only player left alive. Gonna have to just do the walk of shame back to spawn as Garda managed to cap out the first cap of this 4th round.
Yeah, that's gonna be a much better start to the round than last time here. Being down a minute immediately is no way to start off the game with here on a match point game basically, so much better start for them now. Like I said before, Basku can't afford to lose this one. They have expended all the second chances here on the map already. They just got to get into high gear immediately and not waste too much time playing on Ubers right now. They just got to get the point back quickly. So everyone's rolling out, taking left side point, trying to bait the cap time out as well. So with Disky already versus the flag with Warp into air shot to take down Mankey. He doesn't even need the help in the end. And that's a weak second soul as well. But can't even land anywhere. Have to make sure the fall damage will do the rest here. Bomb in by Disky can't but get a kill, but they're also weak. Milky gets an arrow, but even that's not enough. While Warp has full control of the flank. There's only one way out, it's Cliff, and they sure as hell are taking this as quickly as they can, because Basku forcing him out of here very quickly. Take the point, 45 seconds on Garda's side, already ticked down. There's not a ton just yet, especially if you have to go through a lengthy Uber fight now to get back as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle of attrition for this Uber, and it's certainly in the hands of the team to decide which one is going to be the first to be used. It looks like Garda very aggressive here, so they want to get that cap time, so they might get forced off if they're not careful. As Basku now looking to contest it at least a little bit. Adisky almost getting a nice rocket onto Earl there, doesn't quite manage to. Mankey's going to be able to force off the Uber with his scout friend, and they're going to be able to have the better Uber out of Garda, but they've also lost both of their soldiers as the Uber fades. Now Kilsis is in onto the combo, but doesn't manage to do enough damage. Disky now doesn't quite hit the last rocket as well, but Trump's in so much danger already. Jon is gonna have a word with that, clean up that kill. And even though he pays with his life, that is such a crucial pick to get there towards the end. Obviously, they're gonna have to try to protect Martin as best they can. Dude just surfs away and lives yet again.
Just barely far enough as well to escape lethal range from those rockets there and escape Mankey's attempt on his life, so that just about works. Lots of capping for Garda at the very least, so not down too much just yet. Only about 30 seconds here if they win this fight. It's still very much doable, and I mean, you have Bastard spawn, so they already are way further aggressive on the point than Basku might like. Risky certainly stuck in flank, wins the fight at least with Earl, not much more than that, however, cleaned up at the end. Or the rest of Basku connects far back with the spawners, gives up the point with this as well. Only 30 seconds difference on these two teams here, and Basku does not like that too much. They want to be more. Jon's going deep with the Uber, tries to hit the pipe, can't get more than one, and the scout's too late to save the day here. Trump gets the pack. They don't have Uber just yet. They will give up the point, but any second now they have Uber, and they're not going to even wait for that. They're just going to bust forward already, bluff the Uber situation. That is, he comes through. If that hits, you're dead either way if you don't use. So I guess it doesn't matter if they have or not, because it's just a do or die situation here at this point, and they're doing it alright, very slowly but surely. They're getting back on point control, taking the cap into their favor, keeping the time close as well. It is full ad for them, well, 70% anyway. That's more than enough to make Basku think about how they want to do this. Are they gonna just dry push across the point here, or are they gonna sack away? Looks like it was supposed to be sacked, but despite some struggles at the beginning, they still get through to the medic in the end.
They managed to force out that Uber somehow, even though they, you know, lost so many players for it. That's just the classical product suicide sack wave. It worked out in their favor, and now obviously, oh look at that! They got like a 70% at themselves. Bus Crew suddenly looking pretty strong here. It looks like they're gonna be trying to get out of this forward hold. There's no stickies on the right side, and actually gonna use the Uber early just to get through as Jon jumps in, trying to see if he can do enough damage here. Not really feeling any danger for any of these Garda players just yet as the Uber fades now. The fight is unleashed, and Mankey's going to be the first one to pay with his life. Earl taken down right after as well, so the frags are certainly falling in the favor of the Bus Group. Only kills us and Trum left. He's going to have to try to protect this medic as best he can, or at the very least escape with his life. It looks like that's what's going to happen here. Bus Group retake the point again.
Yeah, really good damage all across. And they were not really heavy either, they just fought just that bit faster through all of this to make it happen here. It's the last minute for both teams, last 50 seconds even, just about now on both these timers. Basku does not quite have the Uber yet, but that's quickly fixed if they're just building away while they have the chance to. Garda rolling out now. Gonna try to cut that chance as short as possible, but we'll have to have something more happen than that. Captain certainly will get Basku a little bit uncomfortable here. Killsis tries to go a bit too deep though for anyone's liking on the rest of the team. And down one player already, warped in as well with the rest of the team following through to get the Uber out here as well. It's a straight exchange. Basku is going to stay on the point. That's going to get the timer dangerously low for the post Uber here. It's going to strike really awkwardly now for Garda. They have to get going, they can't let them get any more time. And with the kill they have already on Slash, it's go time now more than ever. They gotta get this going quickly. Milky Bomb as well, hits some decent damage to warp, no kills to shit. Disky shut down mid air at the start. They still need help. Milky really weak, gets an arrow, bomb across the point for Bud. Both scouts trying to clean up. Quickly get Hampus forced rest back. Bus Crew escaping just about, but don't have much more time either way here to start thinking about how they're gonna do this. It's 50 on each Uber and not even 50 seconds total anymore.
Yeah, they're gonna have a rough time trying to retake this point yet again, and they might just get the Uber up in time. It looks like both teams will be able to. Both picks actually extraordinarily equal on their building right now, so we're gonna be seeing one last exchange before this round probably closes out, as Buster getting their cap time going already. They do pop off those Ubers early, and the exchange is underway as players walk all across the point. Milk is gonna pick up a kill onto Hemp. Not flashed yet, and he's also going to get another one onto a Disky, so the frags is certainly falling in the favor of Garda. There's so much damage on those players in point. Huge damage deal, and clean up there. Wonderfully done by Garda. I'm pretty sure that closes out the round, as there is nobody to try and even recontest. 3-1 for Garda.
Yeah, that's another tight game for them here in the end. That was a hugely improved game onto product. Still some struggles. The last round was looking really down for them at times, actually. Yeah, you really believe Basku could bring this way back here in the end, but no, Garda looked strong most of the way through this map here, and well-earned 3 points, I want to say. Don't let anyone get away of their wrath here all too easily just yet in Premiership here. Only just about got in, but they're making the time they have in Premiership worthwhile while they can.
It's certainly showing that they want to fight and that they can actually sit with the old cats in Premiership in some way or another. Let's look at some numbers really quickly, because something that jumps out to me immediately is that Milky seemingly had a good match.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the two maps, but it really goes to show, right? Gully into product. Your demo has a lot of work to do, and certainly was able to perform to that expectation.
Yeah, I almost expected that this would happen. I told you, like, once the man is warmed up, I feel like he's got a map now where the Yam is a little bit more important. He's certainly put the team on his back there, dealing massive damage, absolutely enormous. Is truly outrageous. It's not the first time I've seen him do that either.
Yeah, really, really good game for them all across. I was happy with how much better the bombs were looking here as well. That was not just good from the soldiers individually, but also well played off of those for the most part here on Garda Panteri. So pretty much the things we wanted to see better got quite a bit better here. Obviously, a little bit too late for map 1 to remedy any of that, but 3 points are 3 points, and you're going to take them any day you can after map 1 like that, where you just get choked out by a really smart bus crew and just overwhelm them just enough on the second one here.
Yeah, and I think that's really all there is to talk about at the end of the day. Most of the other stats are evenly matched, and it shows that overall these teams are pretty evenly matched. It depends on the map, but yeah,
you'll have to see it. That's a prem I like.
Yeah, we shouldn't really talk much longer though, because
there's stuff happening.
There's stuff happening over at the main channel, like a game that's actually supposed to happen this week instead of something from the future or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it will be more TF2 happening tonight. On TF2 just now we throw it over there as well. It will be Feint Gaming against Global Clan EU. I will be covering the one game on my own in a minute here as well on my Twitch channel, if anyone's interested here as well, featuring famous players like Yak and a Condor Nunya player. So that should be funny as well, at very least. Maybe the other game might be better, but who knows? Should be a fun evening here between all the games we have. And then, yeah, we'll see you again on Sunday. There's one more Premiership game this week left to come here on Sunday. That is Nerd Rage against Aura, I believe, or something like that. We'll see. Whatever it is, I'm sure you'll see on Sunday. And we'll see you there.